What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Today we're here to talk about Atlanta's episode 5 titled Nobody Beats the Biebs. This episode was weird to me. Like the first 4, they had clear intentions written all over them, but for the most part this episode felt like it was just a filler one. Let's start with Darius' segment. His segment to me was very pointless. He goes to a shooting range, he has a poster of a dog, that's what he shoots at, and then he offends 2 white people who come over to approach him saying, hey, you can't shoot a dog. And then he's like, why would I want to shoot a human target? And then he pointed out how some of the targets are oddly specific, and the camera pans to one that said dad on it. I like that part. That part was a little bit funny. Darius was making a lot of sense, but ultimately that scene just didn't really feel like it contributed anything to the episode. Naturally, it's a different arc than what's going on with Paperboy and Earnest, but I feel like there was no reason for it. What was the purpose? Eventually, he gets thrown out. The owner says, hey, I told you, don't be causing trouble, even though he didn't start it. So I guess if you want to look at like the undertones of that, you can say that Americans are a little bit ridiculous, at least white Americans, in the sense that they'll shoot at human targets, but when it comes to like a dog, it's like totally bad. And you could say that the shop owner might be slightly racist. Just the fact that he threw out Darius, and only Darius, when he didn't even start it, he didn't even get his side of the story. He just assumed that Darius caused the problems despite him just doing what he wanted to do, and that was shoot at the dog target. So that segment to me just didn't do it. I mean, there was that one moment, the human target part. I liked the dad, but aside from that, it was useless this episode. The main segment of episode 5 was Paperboy competing in a celebrity basketball game at Atlanta Youth Outreach. And some of the other people on the list included Lloyd, which was a nice cameo to see, Jaleel White from Family Matters, and apparently I didn't actually notice him when I watched the episode, but I was reading a recap that said Lil Zane was also in the game. I guess I don't know what Lil Zane looks like in 2016, but hey, it's a cool little Easter egg nonetheless. Atlanta brought Justin Bieber in for this episode. He was the main celebrity competing in the basketball game. So instead of Justin Bieber being the person that we know in real life, he's black, but he has the same mannerisms as the real Bieber. He's very cocky and arrogant, and he pees in a corner. Later in the episode, he gets in a fight with Paperboy, who was determined to be the MVP of the game for some reason. I guess that holds a lot of weight, a lot of merit. And then at the end of the episode, you got Bieber holding the press conference, apologizing, saying, you know, this is not the real me, and he shows the real him, and then starts performing a song, and all is forgiven. It's a very weird episode. I think Paperboy did have a few good scenes. I think the ones with the reporter were really strong. Strong in the sense that I feel like the way Paperboy's career is going, he's going to be pigeonholed by certain people into being like this thug, this gangster type character, when really he's not like that at all. He's a very calm, relaxed, cool, down to earth type of person. But like at the end, when Paperboy is still trying to get that reporter to interview him, the reporter talks about how he's supposed to be the asshole, not Justin Bieber, so he needs to play that role. Like, I think that's sort of him getting pigeonholed, because the reporter also in the episode earlier said that she only knew him because he shot the guy. That's it. She didn't know him because of the music or anything of that nature. So I feel like he had a couple good scenes that were strong in a sense, and I think it'll be interesting to see where his career continues to develop, because I'm wondering where like the whole Bieber Paperboy fight fits into like future episodes, because it doesn't feel like it's paying off in this particular episode, but naturally you're gonna have that footage go viral. So what does that mean for Paperboy in the coming episodes? The last arc of this episode was Earnest at a networking event. He originally was going to watch the game, but then this lady comes up who assumes that he's this Alonzo character. And so they go upstairs to this networking event, and Ernest is making the most out of it. He talks to a couple people about TV opportunities for Paperboy, and then he goes and gets a drink. It's free. He's happy, and then the lady pops up again, and it all takes a sharp left turn. She cusses him out, really goes in on him because she thinks that he's Alonzo and that he was the one that got her fired from ASA, the company that she was working at. And so even though Ernest says, I'm not Alonzo, she's not taking no for an answer. And she says that she's not going to rest until he dies homeless. Like, that is some scary, like, wow. She has a vendetta. And like I say, with a lot of the plots in Atlanta, sort of like Quavo being in one of the episodes, I hope that this is not a one-off. Or like Zan in episode 4. Those two in particular. But I hope this is a one-off. I want to see this lady really exact her revenge. Even though he's not Alonzo, but I think it'll be a compelling arc for like future episodes. But then again, I don't know where Atlanta's going. We're only 5 episodes in, so maybe none of these characters reappear. But Ernest was definitely spooked at the end of the episode. Nobody Beats the Biebs is hardly my favorite episode from this season. It's probably the weakest out of the 5 that we've watched so far. But it did have some moments here and there. So I'm still looking forward to seeing where the rest of the season plays out. I think if anything else, this episode kind of sets up more storylines down the pipeline. And I think the show, it needs to convert to an hour. Like, I don't know if that's in the cards or not, but I feel like it'd be more effective as an hour-long program versus a half-hour one where it's not even a half hour. It's, 20 minutes with the other 10 being commercial. So those are my thoughts on episode 5, Nobody Beats the Biebs. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.